Take two. Yeah. Hello and welcome to the NeosCast. Today we are going to be going over a few topics such as discussing VR in the education sector, Phantom Touch, and reviewing the new radial menus, which has just been released, as well as what do you use VR for. Well, let's start off with discussing VR in the education sector, because as you all know right now, that because of the whole coronavirus, everything's under lockdown at the moment, causing us all to... Sorry, I was just checking chat quick. Causing everyone to have to stay at home and schools being shut down. Now, that's a bit of a problem when people are in their matric years or their final year of high school, college, whatever. Because, I mean, well... how do you go exactly get an education if you can't go to school in the first place? Now, the way to solve that is VR. Because in VR, you can put your VR headset on and virtually be in the classroom without actually having to go anywhere, which is really awesome. And I think there's a big possibility for VR there. Like, there. Now, the reason why I'm mentioning this topic is because a little while ago I managed to find out that someone here, along with Farouk's, now I couldn't catch his name, and I have found him on Twitter, but I haven't a clue how to pronounce his name, so I'm not even going to try to because otherwise I'm butchering it. But they had a Pythagoras math class in Neos the other day, and I popped into this world and he was teaching Pythagoras, and I thought that was really, really cool, and taking full advantage of our VR systems as a whole. Do you guys want to add anything to this? Nah.
All I can say is I wish my education system decided to do VR. Like, we are going to be doing, like, I'm in college currently, so we're going to be doing our classes for the first 3 weeks until further notice online, and it doesn't really matter, like, too much because I'm in for computer science, so, like, it kind of just works, but there's actually some courses that they're actually having in class with like proper social distancing that they're still going to host. That might change as, you know, the days come by. We start on the 14th, so they might like decide to go into online even for those courses, which, you know, is going to put a lot of pressure on the schooling system. But I think a problem with education in like VR and stuff like that is that there's a lot of people that aren't prepared for it right now. So,
yeah.
Because of COVID being like super duper sudden, like it's not as though there are a lot of programs that offer like just these ready to use educational like systems. I mean, we can use Neos for educational stuff, but that requires like programming and like actually setting up systems for teachers to use, because not everybody's a programmer. Like, they're not gonna be able to just whip out some logics and make a whiteboard, or, you know, make a ruler or whatever it is that they need. Those are things that are gonna need to be made, and that's kind of the same thing for normal systems as well, is that like these teachers are gonna have to basically flip the script and figure out how to teach these kids the same way, but with all these new tools, with like programs like Zoom, where they're doing like online courses like face-to-face with webcam or whatever it is. And resource management's going to be huge too, because it's like not every textbook is digitalized. I mean, getting textbooks to kids and people in college and stuff like that is going to be rough. And so it's like, it has a bright future, and I think that it's going to get more attention because of current events. But I think right now, don't hold your breath to really see anything super duper amazing come out. But I think the thing that to get excited about is that like, it's going to be more of a consideration than it was before.
For sure.
I think it's the future of education.
Jesus Christ, somebody
Yeah.
shut me up next time.
That
was amazing.
5, 10
Are you
years,
kidding me?
mate, all schools will be VR because it's more
For
efficient.
sure.
You don't have to waste money having cleaning staff at schools and all the other silly things that happen in schools.
Yeah.
And you can do a lot more with a VR environment. You could teach history and take them to ancient Egypt as a place.
Yeah,
You can take
like
them
Google Earth
around the
and
world,
those type of things, yeah.
To like what they call photo scanners of like real world places all around the world. You can go to the Louvre and visit, look at the art. So
For sure.
There's a lot more to be done than just stand in a room and be driven crazy by some middle-aged, semi-educated moron.
Yeah. No, for sure.
Well, to me, that introduces something interesting too. And just like the radio stars couldn't make a transition into television, do you think how many instructors do you think will be able to make that transition into VR?
Very few,
That's
to be
gonna be
fair.
a
I think
struggle.
they'll probably end up making a series of qualifications that are more digital-based, VR-based specifically, such as VR engineering degrees, VR teaching degrees, things like that, because there's a knowledge base you have to do anything productive in VR, in any metaverse or program, that most teachers and people aren't going to be willing to go into and learn because they won't see the point of it. But in 5-10 years' time, that technology is going to overtake all of those people, and if people don't learn and get to use it properly, they'll miss that bus.
No, for sure.
It's an interesting thing to think about.
Yeah.
You know what, I'm 32. I'm way past school.
For sure. But I think, as both of you said, I think the future of VR with education will get a lot bigger. Like right now, I still believe that VR is in its infancy stage. I mean, VR only really came into existence like 2016 for consumers. So, I mean, it's going to take a good while until it gets mass adopted.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, even right now,
and things like that.
if an application suddenly popped up for VR and learning in VR, not everyone can even buy a VR headset at the moment due to the whole COVID-19 with...
And they cost the same as a small car.
Yeah,
Yeah.
for sure.
Or the iPhone X.
Once the affordability and the technology sizes and all that stuff gets balanced out to a real world factor, then you'll probably see like a ridiculous boom in things that can be done, especially when they figure out the performance things and make it more in line with. I mean, look at the difference between the PlayStation 1 and the PlayStation 5 in performance.
Yeah.
If they get the VR gear to work and to be optimized in similar ways and perform at similar levels, then there's no real barriers there. Once it's affordable and runs like butter off a hot knife, that's where it lies. The issue at the minute is that very few companies have put any investment into it, and the ones that have either done a really shit job or they've nailed it like they did with Half-Life Alyx.
Yeah. Yeah.
Thank God. God bless.
That's what I'm hoping. Like,
It cuts down on school shootings in America. If you stick all the kids in VR schools, no one's getting shot.
I knew it was gonna come out. I knew someone was gonna mention
I mean,
it.
that's a bit of a lie. People will get shot, but no one will get killed. I mean, lots of shootings.
Yeah.
Probably the first school nukings in VR.
Oh, it's not wrong.
Oh, someone pulls out the holy grenade.
Some of the VR community, come on, give them a nuke in 5 minutes.
Yeah, I wonder if... Yeah.
Real conversation.
If I quote Fruch's university lecture by Peter, well, I think Peter Klan, I believe, about VR or Neos. Yeah. No, that's cool.
Yeah, they
Am I?
live stream their lectures too, which is pretty awesome.
Yeah.
I think I saw one of them.
You have to kind of know their language, but
I saw
Yeah.
one for about a minute, and it was interesting to watch, but I had no idea what was going on.
Same.
Not only do I not speak their language, even if I did, it's so fast, I'd probably only catch every third word. It's like the first time you hear someone speak like fluent Mandarin for the first time. It's just fast.
They could find the pleasure.
My sister strangely can speak Mandarin fluently, and it's very interesting hearing it. Like,
That's
it's
a
very
weird
different.
language to learn.
I know, right?
Unless you're going to go work in the East and like deal with those sorts of environments we need to use. Mandarin is really hard to learn.
Yeah. I think let's move on to the next topic, Phantom Touch. Now, Phantom
For
Touch.
18s only.
Oh God, it's not a private session, so no, we can't do that. But seriously though, Phantom Touch is it's something that still breaks my brain today. I just don't really understand it, eh? Like,
I think it's a myth.
flat Earth theory, like, yeah.
Yeah, flat Earth theory and digital people can't feel things.
Oh, thanks.
Perceived touch is a very strong placebo effect if it is one.
Well, like, can you feel it if I'm in your mouth now? Look.
Okay, well, I mean, there's requirements for it for the most part because like I can't perceive that you're in my mouth. So like,
I was.
okay, this is getting into I should provide context territory. What I'm saying is, it's more like what your brain thinks it's supposed to feel. Yes, it's very strong suggestion, and a lot of people, like, I think one thing that I've noticed at least for Neos specific people with phantom sense is it's very much like herd mentality. So like the more people you experiment with, like it feels like you begin to feel even more. I don't know if that's just like a comfort
It
thing.
does seem
for,
like it's
the people.
only the furries soul community has anything to do. I've never met anyone that wasn't a furry say anything about phantom touch ever.
No, I've met a lot of people on VRC that are like it. You can find
Maybe that's
videos
because
too.
they're more like not. I'm going to say touchy-feely, but I don't mean in like a naughty way. But like they're more kind of like
It's a
friendly and
cultural
stuff.
thing, yeah.
Yeah.
Whereas
Yeah, culturally, furries or people that are of the furry type or whatever, they tend to
they're more huggy
touch
and
each
things.
other more.
Yeah.
And yeah, they're a little more physical. So I can see how that could like breed that kind of phantom sense even more.
Yeah. Because I know in VR chat, when I was in there, like the first time I ever got into VR chat, people are like in your face, like they're really right up to you, and they're like touching you and whatnot, and you're like, well, hang on, and like that was my first time in VR, and like you're not used to all of a sudden people like coming up to you like face to face, because I mean you don't do that in real life. You don't do that.
How
I mean some
many
people.
of them did you try to punch?
Many, and like in real life, someone comes up to you and they put their face right next to your face. Your immediate reaction is to like take a step back. You're like, well, hang on, dude, just.
Go away.
And often what I do is like I'll be chatting to this oak, and you come closer, and I like instinctually just move back because like it's uncomfortable, like you're in my bubble kind of thing, and when. Like someone would like try to touch my arm, like I would theoretically feel it because like you're expecting to feel the touch, but for me that touch sensation kind of went away. It like completely went away, and I don't know, for some other people that touch actually escalates and gets even more of a sensation. Like they can feel it quite like have a good sense of phantom touch per se.
Maybe that's why
That's
I'm always
fair.
in like non-human stuff, because I never like. I get the like the full immersion side of everything. Like that is something I do agree. I sort of experienced that side of it, but I've never had anything happen to any of the sort of avatar parts or anything that just made any effect on anything in real life.
Yeah.
So it's just a kind of an alien concept from my perspective, because it's not. I'm not particularly touchy-feely anyway, so it's.
Yeah, like
Kind of
another
that's
thing.
new in the
It's good
ways,
that
but
you mentioned that, because for me, when I was in my skeleton avatar for a huge amount of time, like you kind of grow a disconnect with real life and VR, because like you were like I was wearing a damn skeleton. Like my hand was a skeleton hand, just bones. So I think it has a good thing, like a big part to play with that.
So the weird is,
Like,
well,
I mean, great example. We have a skeleton right here.
Skeleton.
Do you have a phantom touch?
No, but I would like to discuss something a little bit different to Phantom Touch.
Oh shit!
and
Hang on. Do I need to
this is-
privatize this?
You'd like
This
to
is-
touch on another topic?
Oh no!
this is where
called
social distancing could be
Phantom-
useful.
Phantom Hands. Have you ever heard of that?
Never in my
Alright.
life.
I think I have.
So Phantom Hands, it's basically, I first started getting it, and most people get it when they first start using VR. And it's the moment when you look at your hands in real life after being in VR, and
Yeah.
they don't feel like your hands.
Oh, like a
Sort of
disconnect.
Like a slightly faster real life thing, where the real world feels slightly faster because it's a higher, like obviously a higher refresh rate. So you move too quick and you break things by mistake.
Whoa, bro, do you have a 5080 Ti RTX Cuisine Titan in your real life computer?
So I was trying to figure out what was causing this, and it turns out it's the accommodation vergence conflict, which
what?
means that
Virgins?
accommodation vergence conflict, right? So what this means is, when you're looking at your hands in real life, your eyes are looking into a certain depth, like so looking to the depth of your hands when you focus on your hands. But when you're in VR, there is no depth. It's like a
'Cause your eyes
couple
are focused to
inches.
infinity, aren't they?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, in front of your face. So that means once you take the headset off, your eyes don't know how to consider depth anymore, and you
How
forget
long did you spend
where
with
your
your
hands
headset
are.
on? Oh,
man.
I'm not taking it off. Like,
No. This is my first time using VR, so my brain didn't know how to take this in.
it's like his first time
Didn't know
doing
how
it.
to-
It was like 26 hours with the headset. Took it off and was like,
Straight up after VR the other day, I almost tripped over. Like, I swear, anyone watching me must have thought I was smashed out of my
because the
bracket
world's too
because
fast.
I tried to put on my slops and almost like fell over, and I was like, whoa, hang on, hold up.
What?
What?
The focus has slowly shifted over to the two heads in the pillar fort, and everybody's gathering in the pillar fort.
A nice
Marley
way
and Marley from the Muppets.
A nice way to learn stuff in VR, use to read books. You can now use VR and 3D objects, environments, etc. And I think it's much easier to learn this way because it's fun. I totally agree. If you're not having fun doing something, you're not going to learn much because you're just going to be fucking around. Not surprised of Phantom Touch and stuff because when you get in VR, the brain thinks some sort of like stuff are real and react this way like you are scared of heights, etc. You will feel bad even if it's not real. 100%. Like in Half-Life Alyx, when those head crabs jump at me, I freak out.
I was gay for 5 minutes. So like, oh my god, it's in my hair! Oh my god, it's in my
It's immersive and it feels real. Oh, dude, what are you feeling?
That's also the reason that VR sickness occurs, because your brain's so convinced what's happening, but your inner ear doesn't detect the same movement, so it makes you feel nauseous.
Yeah.
Oh, no kidding. Now, do you think that our eyes also have anything to do with our balance, or in terms of like same way as our ears?
It's like a matched equation. So your eyes see one thing, and if it matches the predicted outcome for the inner ear, then that's your equilibrium working. So it uses the horizon line or the nearest sort of linear surfaces and kind of balances you on that. And that's how you kind of stay upright and know what up and down is. So when you see things that your brain then interprets as this is up, and then it changes rapidly, but your inner ear doesn't correlate the same turn, that's what causes the nausea.
Motion, like
the
VR
English and
sickness.
things work so well
Yeah.
because there's something in front of you first before the movement. So you focus on the foreground, and the background can do what it wants because the foreground helps your equilibrium stay in focus.
Kind of like getting seasick. So it's a very same thing. Like
Unpredictable sort of blub, 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 blub.
yeah, exactly. How you like floating and bobbing around in the ocean, and you try your mind thinks okay, cool, it's stable ground,
Seasickness
but
is that and the ever-present fear of pirates. To be fair.
well, goddamn. And reviewing the new radial menus. Okay,
Eureka!
I mean they're pretty good.
Everybody just goes,
I want to just
like
say
them.
something quick before you say that.
yeah,
I had to show someone, like a brand new player, how to use the radial menus today, and it was a flippin' breeze. It was so easy to be like, "Hey man, look here," because he couldn't figure out how to scale himself, and I just opened it and pointed. He's like, "Oh," and so he goes to into it because when you open it, you can read what it says, so you can be like, "Oh, he's pointing that." Reset scale, easy peasy. I mean, and then yeah.
Yeah.
One complaint I have now, because a lot of the things that I didn't like you couldn't close it with your just pressing of the button, was the fact that your walking locomotion is represented by a car.
That's just based on the session.
The session?
Yeah, you can change the image.
You can. Oh, what?
Yeah, but the default one still has a car, does it not?
Yeah,
The
default one, yes.
locomotion? Yeah.
Yeah. like I don't go everywhere sounding like a car, unless you guys do. Like, I don't know. Is
I hop in my car to go pick up my remote over there.
Yeah.
My only complaint is the colours, but I hate the colours of every part of the Neos UI, including inspectors, belt menus, all of it. It's like it was colour coded by a half-blind gay family.
Holy shit! That is so rough, Spider. God damn.
Not a negative way, like just it's too
Descriptive.
why does it need to be
Oddly
so
correct.
damn colourful?
It is very colorful.
Why someone ate a bag of Crayola and vomited it up on a UI?
I don't know. I like it a lot. I really appreciate. I like that he's holding the same design as the Neos logo throughout the entire piece as a brand, and to me that shows kind of how he thinks.
Shape-wise is
Yeah.
cool. I like the structure. Just it's the colour. Colours in the belt menu and everything else are awful. And I'm a professional artist. I know what colours work and what colours don't. None of these colours work. In terms
I love
of
it. I
colour
love
theory
it.
and
I'm extremely visual, and this is very distinct buttons that I can remember very easily for almost without looking at these color contrasts. What would
Sure.
what
I don't
would you,
like
what would you
it.
go for?
I can't wait till we get like the ability to customise it and I can make it all black.
Me personally, be honest,
That's
I don't
my
like the
inner
colors
metalhead,
either.
though, so-
I don't hate them as much as Spider does. But
I think I maybe
I think-
overplayed the hatred a little bit there.
I think for me
that
that
sound like a colour bigot.
I'm more of like a plain modern type of person, so I would go for more bland colors. That would look more like modern
Dull.
and eccentric. English, goodness, eccentric.
It's not necessarily. It's not even necessarily specifically
Yeah,
like
that's nice.
the brightness of the colours. It's the inconsistency to them. Like there's no coherence to it. It's just randomly assigned bright colours.
Thanks, Max. Thanks
Why
for
would
father.
you not have a uniformity and then have the different colours be the highlight, or have some kind of unifying theme that wasn't here's every colour?
Evan, shot for the follow, man.
I think I've seen some of the previews that they've kind of just been randomly pulling out the new UI elements in worlds to show people, and from what I've seen is I think what the strategy they're going to go for is they're going to actually color the icons. So they might actually go for more of a bland theme in terms of color, or just color the ones based on the icon. And the icon.
There we go.
So we
really
can
not
just
that
colour it
bad.
ourselves anyway. So
This is true. As
We'll
well.
be able to
We can
style it, so
we're
it's-
just gonna be able to change it all, and
That's
how
pretty
it
cool.
rolled and-
Like I like the glowing one. I'm not so much a
I'm
fan
gonna-
of
I'm
these
gonna have
ones,
it so
but
it's just
this
grey.
that's cool.
This is just an example that me and First put together because we were seeing what the icon and stuff looked like. Because the first time I seen it, I was like, okay, so I'm gonna be sitting here playing Simon Says beep beep boop boop beep the whole time, and I'm just like, I might as well make a real Simon Says.
Yeah,
For
And
sure.
then we put this together, and we're like, this doesn't work. This already looks like the Neo symbol. I just need a bunch of. I just need a bunch of like
the Neo
symbols to go
symbol
in.
violates the
I
copyright
have a
on the
working
Simon Says
version.
game?
No.
Thanks for the follow, Jessley.
Is that
I've-
an image?
I think I need a Sonic
It's,
image.
Empty image. It's an empty object with a bunch of stuff on it. Sorry.
This is the legendary comment. I think I need a Sonic icon for the walk because I'm fast. Fast as fuck, boy.
That's one of the reasons I don't use walk mode ever, because it's too quick. I've
I
rocketed
hate
through
trying to have
walls.
to try and delete things using these new menus.
For sure.
I
It's,
hate
easy,
it.
it's
It's
easier.
interesting. It's a new.
Apparently,
it's
Yeah,
from
it's
what
easy.
I've apparently
I
from
think
what I've
it's
heard,
easy just grabbing things and having my radio already like in the
The hard-
position to
the-
delete
the
it.
hard
I've seen
part is
them.
that's
Oh
the-
yeah, yeah.
Set it to delete and then grab.
Sorry,
The
I
Max.
do like that
hard
it's
part was
not double
like
click now.
putting my wrist bones back into joints so I didn't have to fully 360 my wrist anymore. Once I'd done that, it was fine. I spent the last 3 months with a dislocated wrist just so I could rotate properly to use the UI. So
I know, right?
Trying to
Like,
click it and it
you
rotates.
with the old UI, you'd
Exorcist of hand models. Like,
open it up and you twist your arm and like you're trying to get to like the duplicate button and you're like, come on, you're almost there.
yeah, like, got it.
And then like when I was using it once
You
and
click
someone
and then you slightly rotate and hit the wrong one. And you're like,
You know, it was like,
Yeah.
delete. I meant to duplicate.
it was like 2
Yeah.
months before I was informed that I could scroll the fucking ring menu as well. So I
Likewise.
spent ages being like, oh, I can't get to the delete anywhere turn. How the fuck do I? Where the?
I think I told you. I think someone had told me that same day, and I came across and I saw you doing it because they saw me
Yeah,
spazzing out and
you-
breaking
yeah,
my
yeah.
arm.
You ran
And-
over. I remember you came over. You're like, dude, no, look, do this. And just scroll it. And I was like,
I know, right?
with the,
Like I was spazzing out and breaking my wrist, and someone says, "What are you doing? Just scroll." I'm like, "Wait, we can scroll."
Yeah, the whole time we had the radio menu, a lot of people just go.
Exactly.
And I'm just sitting there like, there's a touchpad. They're like, you can use your touchpad? I was like,
Literally, man, facepalm. Another comment.
it's just, now it's easier this way.
You botched it. I was on
Sorry.
a roll.
Quick, it's going again.
Another comment. So, just the look of the UI changed, or does it change the way to edit stuff and use tools? I don't believe it does. I don't believe it's.
The UI does change based on what tool you're using, but I
You
think
would
it's the
have
same
to do
stuff
it
as before.
because you're the person who's in charge here.
Oh yeah,
yeah.
the tools. But like a reset scale, if I click that. Oh wait.
Basically, it adds the same things, but if you really want to show it off, you can pretty much just grab menu, and it does change when you're grabbing a menu. It shows a duplication and destroy object.
How do I
And
find
then it
true
also
love?
added undo,
Justly.
redo.
Justly, oh my god, dude.
What did I miss? I was playing Simon Says.
What he wrote in the
Yeah, this is the old
chat.
version. Why
Yeah.
you got this version out?
Yeah,
I've
man.
got the new one.
Check the latest comment.
Oh wait.
How do I find true love?
Oh my god,
thought we
Justly.
were answering questions.
Pull
we
the girl
could-
back out of it, and
Evan responded with a very appropriate comment, Phantom Love.
Yes. Aw.
I'm pretty sure that's called home invasion.
Oh no.
Good lord.
Okay, anyone want to mention anything else before we move on to the next topic?
Everybody spam focuses that it's the Baguette OS.
It's the Baguette OS. This is the Baguette. Because, like, straight up, I didn't know what to call it. So, whenever I mentioned it, I'm like, the new UI, the Baguette. The
The
Baguette.
problem is he
mean,
kind of
pretty.
set that up to be the thing it got called because he went, here's a bunch of options, but definitely not Baguette. And then
Yeah.
everybody was like, oh, it's Baguette.
Actually, I wonder how. I never got to see it, but I'd love to be able to see what the voting looked like before it was removed as an option.
I know what it looked like. It looked like Coffee coding a bot to vote for the one he wants.
Well, believe it or not, he doesn't want Radiant. I mean, well,
Does he not?
actually, I don't really agree with Radiant either.
No, I don't. I don't like
I
that.
didn't. Then again, I didn't.
I liked Onyx. I think I'm always going to be the
Onyx, yeah,
totally
Onyx
opposite
would've
than
been cool.
everybody else.
Yeah.
I liked it because of the parallel with with Simon. Yeah, great.
Yeah.
I
So it's
just
like
call it
Logix, Onyx, and.
I'm gonna call it
yeah.
Simon. Yeah.
We can all come up with our own UIs because it's
Baguette? French bread? Question mark from heaven?
We'll be the
It's also the name of the
Legit,
stone.
man. Yeah, there's some correlation to some what is it?
Was it a certain cut?
It's like a
or something
long
like that?
rectangle sort of cut, yeah.
Yeah,
From what I know.
it's a baguette.
Are we talking about bagels?
No. Big. I don't know. Is a
Bagels are
bagel?
round. Bagels are solid, like a sandwich with a hole in it.
So a baguette
Yeah,
is
isn't
like
that
a
what the
like
radio
it's like a
menu
long
looks
roll.
It's a donut sliced in half.
Bagel
Is it the
maybe.
bagel menu?
Did you
bagel
say
menu.
bagel or did
Yeah.
you say baguette? It's become one of those colloquialisms. It's now a baguette.
Wait. Read out your menu
Omelette
real
du
quick.
fromage.
Yeah.
Donut, and then donut hole.
Ah,
There
yeah.
you go. You
Yeah,
flip the donut
now the donut hole's gone.
in the direction.
Whoa,
Oh my gosh.
whoa.
You can grab it, and then if you drag it through one thing, it'll automatically do it without clicking.
That's not any better. look at
Oh, no kidding.
Oh, no.
Oh, that's a neat feature. Okay, so you can just click it out. Oh, cool. I like
Yeah,
that.
it's really good. It's
I
good
didn't
for
know-
the
yeah, yeah.
locomotion.
No, that's
Yeah.
You
sweet.
can quickly just
Something that I didn't like
was.
was that when you press the button, it like reopened it, and they've fixed that. They've put in the fact that when we push the button for a second time while it's open, it closes it, which is what you think it to do. Because like I was having PTSD opening this stupid thing.
Stop.
Yeah.
Stop playing with the hole.
Put my finger in it.
Big F in chat.
This is why we're all banned from working in bakeries.
Just casually fingering the baguette.
Wow, Bob.
It's a baguette. It's a piece of bread. I'm not being lewd. God damn, come on.
That's pretty lewd, man.
I believe there has been a suggestion to be able to see the UI through anything locally.
That's been done, isn't it?
Big
He's
F.
gonna make it so you can see it through anything, but he's going to change the lasers first so the lasers work through anything.
Yeah.
You can
Okay.
use it while holding stuff. So I think
That'll
he's
be cool.
going to rebuild the entire laser system first and then just change the render queue for the menu.
Oh no.
Yeah.
I don't like it.
How
Don't like
do you get the
change.
touch chat on your little doodad, floaty screen?
A floaty screen?
I was gonna actually ask you the same question because
Yeah,
that's
yeah,
pretty
that's
damn
great.
neat.
How
Yeah.
are you doing that?
It's
Wizard.
kind of
Magic,
a,
dude. Magic and hacks. I'm telling you.
That doesn't answer the damn question.
Times a thousand.
Oh, so I took the panel and I stripped
Is it the same
everything
way we did
with
the
chat.
node menus?
Yep. Yep.
I'll see. I know how to do
Same
it. I'm not
technique,
telling any of you.
Sweet.
Don't make my node menu come out.
Oops.
Hey,
Sorry.
no, stop.
Weirdly though, I can
Oh.
click the node
Oh
button.
shit.
Where did that go?
Oh.
to-
It's attached to my bar. Oh no. Okay.
On me and I can't.
Oof.
Stop.
Oh.
Stop,
No.
stop
No.
moving.
No. No.
Stop,
No. No.
stop.
I'll respawn you and then
Oh,
respawn.
there it is.
Oh, please
There's the
don't.
cube.
Oh dear.
Where's the cube? Give me the cube.
Right here.
Insert cube
Got
in
it.
the head.
Oh,
Give me the plant.
Oh,
where's it?
that
On to the
cube
next
as
topic.
intended.
What?
And then,
Bobotron
Yeah,
new
actually,
friend
Here we
series.
go.
Oh
There we
no.
there it is.
Up there.
Where's the cube?
We
I
should
undid my grab.
There you go.
we should call this the Friends cast.
I'll be there for you.
Totally, definitely don't like get copyright for playing that at the beginning of every single segment.
I know, right?
We'll sing
So-
our own version.
We're gonna have to remake the sets and do the whole intro to Friends in VR just with all our weird avatars.
Even if it was only one time, we need to do that.
I agree. I agree strongly. Can I? Yeah, there you go. Okay.
At a coffee shop called Central Burke. Because Burke's a funny word to use because Burke is it's Cockney rhyming slam for the C word.
What?
I'm not gonna lie.
Because the C word that rhymes with punt.
Oh,
So it's Burke is an abbreviation of Berkshire Hunt, which in Cockney is Berkshire Hunt rhymes with. So then
That's so many levels of abstraction.
that's how Cockney rhyming slang works, mate. Cockney rhyming slang's ridiculous. And to be honest with
It was
you,
like
only
that
people
one
that are born in
pebble I
London get
saw
it.
this one time in the middle of
It's
nowhere.
like they
So
call
Double copyright
when
you.
the telephone is the dog and bone, just because dog and bone rhymes with phone. kinda. It's the weirdest like local dialect or whatever. It's worse than the like South African ones that are all clicks and whistles. At least they probably make sense. Cockney rhyming slang makes no sense.
Well, I wouldn't go that far to say that the South Africans, like Africans, whatever, clicks and whatever makes sense.
Well, there's a language. I watched a YouTube thing about. There's a language made entirely of whistles, and it's like these people that are all like shepherds or something. They live like miles away from each other, but they can converse from like 15 miles away because they can whistle and echo it across the hills. So they could just chit chat. They're like,
That's interesting.
That's actually the best. What the
it was.
That's awesome.
It's really complex whistling as well. They have to go to school just to learn this whistle language,
Wow.
but it's like almost a dead dialect.
It's
So
not called
how-
Twitter. It's called Whistle.
Yeah, how detailed is the language? Can they say, hey, can you grab me some groceries while you're on the
I
way?
think,
Can
I
need
think it
to-"
is legit like a full language.
Wow.
That's pretty
It
interesting.
was. I'll have to try and find the links to the video at some point, but it's really interesting actually. It's like this whole subgroup of people have just they can do our kind of talking, but it's instead of having to like send a letter or walk for ages to talk to the neighbour about the wolves or whatever nearby, they just go and have this like bird language.
Huh.
It's really cool.
Leon DuckTales in the comments. Now the last topic before this cast goes to hell.
The last topic of our stream today is it's not that rare, it doesn't happen to all men, and it is a problem.
Oh no. What do you use VR for?
This.
Oh, looting.
I'm
Straight up.
making
Just
sense.
looting.
Looting.
Looting,
That's all
looting,
I use it
100%. I agree with you, Justin.
I
High
don't
five on that, man.
My dude.
Yeah,
five.
yeah. You probably want to clean that hand. Yeah, I don't make things like this. But...
Okay, so you're lefty.
Oh, look at Bob wiping his hand.
I use it for playing video games and hanging out with people, and also making
Yeah.
stuff.
I
It's pretty
often
much the making stuff.
I
Yeah.
often come into Neos and actually watch movies. I turn on OVR Toolkit and I literally lie down and have a giant screen above me, which I watch a movie on.
Above your screen.
Yeah. And it's pretty cool.
I have a screen on my
Can you watch
screen, so
stereo
I
of
can
this?
watch a screen.
Sorry?
Can you watch it in stereo too? I make stereo films in here.
Well, I just put on
That's
OVR
cool.
Toolkit, so I stream my my desktop into my like overlay. Or if you really want to, what you can do is you can upload that video to something like Dropbox or whatever, and then use that link to stream it into Neo, so everyone in the world can also watch it with you.
Oh, that's. I'm gonna have to ask more about that another time. That's cool.
For sure. Because we actually
That's how a lot of movies are done
yeah.
here.
2 days.
Yeah, Leon does it all the time.
Yesterday or 2 days ago? Yesterday, right? We watched a
Yesterday.
movie.
Yesterday, yeah.
Yeah. So yesterday we watched
Oh, last night.
Austin Powers. Yeah.
Powers.
And we watched it in like a full-on theater world and everything. It was just really cool. When are we having our next movie night, my dude?
It tastes like shit.
I don't know anyone. have next
There was an
movie.
anime movie night of
Next
sorts last night.
That's true. Coffee was doing that.
We
Did
need
it
to
go-
make the cinema,
did it
we need to
start?
make the cinema
'Cause
room
I know
that
that
was
there's
in
a-
the original Viveport thing. They used to have a cinema thing that you got when you bought the Vive, where you could change the environment, and the best one was where you were super tiny and seated on a little stick, and you were watching the cinema on a giant iPhone that someone had dropped in the grass.
Oh, cool.
That's pretty
That's
cool.
pretty sweet.
I like
So,
that.
yeah, I need to make that.
And so, yeah, like just watching movies and stuff, and then obviously building
Yeah.
and socializing, because I can't exactly go anywhere. I'm usually surfing all the time, and then I've now been stuck inside for the last 3 weeks, which is cancerous to me.
Which is weird because he's normally stuck inside because his car gets stolen every time he goes surfing.
Oh, that was a low blow.
So the person I know has to buy 2 cars, one for daily driving and one for being stolen.
It's the struggles of living in South Africa.
He started telling me as well. He was like, I had a bad day. My car stolen. I was like, oh no, that's bad. He goes, it's okay though. It was the car I bought just in case it got stolen. I was like, because you know, if you go surfing in South Africa, you're gonna get your car stolen.
Disposable cars, you buy them in 6-packs. You're like, oh man, I'm down by 2, so I need to run to the store again.
That's why so many people steal cars in South Africa, because they've just had theirs stolen and they need to get to work. So they're like, hey, you, give me your car.
It's like just playing GTA, dude. I'm telling you. Often South Africans joke. It's like, what you playing GTA? That's fun. I play that every day.
That's how I get home.
Heaven. It's 3D movies or normal vision. I use normal vision. I just blow it up on my like above me when I'm lying down. Because I know the size is kind of heavy for 3D version. Yeah, I'm not too sure. I've never actually watched a 3D movie.
No, you can get whenever you buy a DVD or a Blu-ray or anything, if it's got the 3D copy with it, or you buy a 3D film, they give you a digital copy. And there are programs specifically made where you can just sit in like a virtual cinema and watch a 3D movie without having to have extra 3D glasses and stuff. It's actually the best implementation of 3D movies I've seen.
Yeah.
It's so much better than the glasses and the junk that like IMAX and that try and sell you.
I've never ever watched a 3D movie in VR. I've got to try it. I really
We'll
have.
have to set it up, man. We'll have to set up a 3D movie night. We'll do like Ready Player One or something in 3D.
For sure. Sounds good.
Yeah.
I think we've already done. Oh wait, 3D? No, I'm
No,
not.
3D.
Sorry, I was zoning out playing that.
I think that would be really
I did
cool.
that earlier. I lost like 10 minutes of conversation because I was playing fucking Simon Says in the corner. Like,
Wait, did
It's a
someone
little
edit
funny.
this?
Edited what?
Did someone?
No, I
Because
haven't.
where's the sound effects? I'm not hearing the sound effects.
No, I don't know.
No.
Who knows? It is a little buggy.
You broke it. You
Or
broke it,
laggy
Justin.
at least.
None of my shit ever works.
Though.
Yeah.
That's kind of on topic, yeah.
I love the brutally
Hey,
honest
down here,
do
truth.
you have anything that you can like show us of your work?
Yeah, man.
I do. I think. Let's see.
If you have
That's
anything
what
on,
we're gonna
on
organize.
Actual like 360 videos.
even if you have something on
Yeah.
YouTube, you can drag the link, well not drag it, but copy the link and then just paste it into your game.
Would it work for 360?
Yeah.
There's a whole 180
That's a
live
good
stream
question. We'll
on
find
right now. Or
This
On
might be
screen.
one. Let's see how long this
On
takes to
screen.
load.
if it's on Bob's connection, shouldn't be too bad.
I love the level of detail in this world. Like the
Oh my God,
car
he had a baby.
doesn't have to look like this, but it does. You
It
guys
just
can't
pop
see
out.
it.
look at the stress.
When this loads, I hope this loads. Maybe it won't. Let's see. I might have
carpet's
deleted that
fluffy.
file. I don't think I did though.
I don't see it.
Hey,
Okay.
curious. Is the video at the back of your head like a live video?
He is
Yes, it
blessed
is.
with his presence. Oh,
Hey,
Yeah.
hey, Frooks,
the pillow
It's-
gods greet you.
Hey, Brooks.
pillow gods.
It's got about a
really
10-second
cool.
delay, I think. So you'll see me
Yeah,
do this, and then you'll see me do that again here in about 10 seconds, probably. Inside.
Pretty sweet. Let me just change it
Yeah.
to
Oh, neat.
I never realised that. I just thought it was
Oh,
like
wow.
like a still shot of you sat in a chair.
Yeah, I'm trying to figure out, should I
That's
move
not-
all the
that's not
time just so
personal.
people, but then I'm just avatarless, just doing this all the time.
Oh,
That's
there you go.
probably
Look,
even
now he's
creepier
doing the
than me
wing
sitting
flap.
still.
Yeah. Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah, thank you. That's the kind of stuff I do. That's a pretty. I'm trying to get. I've got shoot. I made
So I
a
can only show my
video about
work in
Creator
certain
Jam.
worlds because it's either creepy or like half done.
Oh, mine's all definitely safe for work. I did a video about Creator Jam. I captured it all in stereo. What's going on? This.
Might as well
Alright,
say
let's
for
see.
work. It's not lewds or anything.
well,
it's just
it'll take a
horror.
time to like load in, eh? Like it takes time for it to like buffer and load and whatever.
It should be a
Oh,
YouTube
yeah,
link. I
because
think.
Yeah, no. So it'll take a little while for the YouTube link
Okay.
to actually like come in. It told me to not deuce, but I did it anyway. What's a deuce? Can someone explain? Like I know what dropping a deuce is, but I know what that is. But like I don't know what a deuce is.
What did he say?
Yeah, his Frix, his avatar's showing him
No, it's
real
not.
time. Like
That would
yeah,
be cool.
just
Holy
hold your
shit.
hands up quick. Curious?
It takes like 10
Oh,
minutes.
wait, it is?
10 seconds, sorry.
Yeah,
So it's-
it
Yeah,
is.
it's live. It's real time.
Oh, I thought it was a pre-recorded thing.
No, it's real time.
No,
So
it's
That's why I
it's
just
delay.
asked him.
Yeah, it's because it runs through. I've got about half a second delay into Mixer, and then another about 9 seconds into Neos.
That is so cool.
That is really sweet.
Just talk to Fruit, see if we can fix the delay into Neos.
Okay.
There might be a
there's
particular
video of
thing that
sorts.
slows it down.
No, oh, but like it's going through a certain server or something like that. That doesn't. It could be
Yeah, it might
quicker.
because it's weird feeding in live video that's then reported back out. It might be something that just needs looking at. It might be
Okay.
inherent in the program. I don't know, but it might be something.
Yeah, I
to speed up.
still check it for me as well. It'll take a little
Is he
while.
still in,
to load.
is he still in your chat?
Yeah, Frooks is still in the chat.
Ask him if you can fix the delay on this.
It's a VLC thing.
Oh, okay.
Could
We'll see. I cannot wait until they actually fix the freaking program.
VLC has 400 millisecond.
Like for everything else, VLC is a fantastic player for videos and things like that. It's really, really powerful. But as soon as you start sticking it into VR, it just starts to break stuff.
Yes.
Okay, let's
We need
see.
to fix the
we are in no way sponsoring VLC.
Hey, if VLC want to give me free stuff,
So
I've
Frooks
got a following. Give me free
Frooks
stuff.
commented, VLC has 400 millisecond buffer by default, but there might be more building somewhere. Heaven also stated it doesn't make the world laggy.
Not usually.
No,
not
I
for
I
most
don't think
users.
so.
The
Generally
most
speaking, if
users
they're in
that
here and it's
particularly
running, then
affected by
they've
it.
generally got pretty powerful PCs.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
you need like
And also
a
just
Maserati to
downloading
run
it might be a little laggy.
Yes.
I've had less problems as well since I gave myself a 35 gigabyte paging file.
Sure. It's interesting that this is not working.
Was Fricks here when we talked about the menus?
No, Frooks wasn't here. Thank goodness. Save his ears. I'm pretty sure he's heard it plenty.
Oh yeah. Now I remember what everyone was saying.
That was one of those moments where I voiced my opinion on the thing, and then I
I
was
get it.
like, I shouldn't have said that.
Frooks is like, what?
I like it. It's done its
Oh, I like it.
Nothing bad was said, Frooks, I promise.
beta development.
Well, I mean,
Except for Spider, he was a bit rough.
Question mark.
How do you... Frooks is like, how do you rewind stream? Oh
I think
god.
you can do that on Twitch. I think you can.
Oh, really? It's like a
I
DVR.
think so. Wait, what did you
They played with holes.
Yeah, a digital video recorder. They would do that. And you could pause it live.
I'm gonna be banned, I promise you.
I thought I could just do that normally, just like dragging the slider sort of thing.
it's going to be like
It would go off,
NCCP advert for the Neos UI because it's been abused.
Okay, let's see.
The whole video...
Is it still loading?
The whole video starts with...
Facility.
Let's see. It might be
And then all the 5-year-olds.
Oh no!
As well.
What have I made? Oh no. Ugh.
That's gonna take a while to
Something there
load
for a
too.
second.
Oh, that's loaded for me. Or
This is?
it's always black
Oh,
screen.
there it goes. Okay, it's supposed to be in the bubble. If we can put that in the bubble fast, then this will make more sense.
Okay, yeah.
Otherwise, it's kind of
Oh,
There we go.
it's stereoscopic mixed reality.
Phantom hole.
It's fine, it's a phantom. Oh my
how does
god.
this co-
Beautiful.
how does this cover half my screen, no matter where I look?
Where did you move it?
What have you done? You put it on your head.
Curious?
No,
Where did you
like,
move that
yeah.
player?
Like there's
It's
like a
right there.
bubble where I
Oh,
am.
sweet. Okay, I'm gonna press play.
Oh yeah, there is a bubble, yeah.
This is
Yeah.
kind of ongoing.
Yeah, I'm gonna just like...
This is my latest.
Oh, I'm in it.
Oh, there you go. Stereoscopic.
There you go.
Now you get in it.
Now that's just mono.
There you go.
Oh, there it is.
Oh, he layered
So if you turn behind you, there should be the other. It should be stereo. So this right here. How do I get to it?
It's still
Oh, there it
loading.
is. Now it's stereo.
Holy moly.
There it is. All right, this guy right here is it's a 360 3D photo I took in Creator Jam, and you can see that it's also stereo. I took that in Neo.
This is super cool.
360. Back here. Of course, you're used to me looking like this, and I just wanted to try
what drawing would look like. I haven't done this yet.
That's
Aw,
really
so
neat.
close. That's still really neat.
Down here.
So if you guys can't see this, if you're watching it without monitors,
Ooh.
what he's doing now is he's
Bye.
drawing in real life but in VR.
Bob, did you say watching without monitors?
Well, if you're just
How-
listening to the
how is-
if you're listening to the podcast but not actually
Yes, if you're
watching
listening-
it,
So what you say is if you're listening to the podcast, not if you're watching without a monitor.
Well, just shush. I don't know how else to say
And
it.
if you're listening without ears,
If you're looking without ears, oh my god, fuck you people.
That's why it looks so weird. It's because with one
and if you
eye,
guys
some things are blurred,
can't
while the
smell
other
what's going on,
Yeah, that was just one I grabbed at random. The actual files are significantly
Exactly.
higher quality.
It's so weird.
This is cool though, curious.
That's what I'm
It
working
is,
on.
eh?
I'm trying to- Oh, thank you
Usually
very
it's the
much.
other way around. Yeah, it is weird
Cool
just
shoes.
to have that kind of
Oh,
like
is that kind of weird with me inside me, like sitting there,
invasion
basically?
into the real life.
I know, right?
See
It's
objects from
curious
VR in real life. It's like it's
Kinda.
It's the
I
new
think I
man.
see the avatar actually.
To have an inspector in
The actual
real life.
head of the avatar in the video.
God, yeah.
Really neat.
You
Oh,
can't
really?
see
It's not
the
just me
flat
floating around?
rags, is it?
Oh yeah, that's in the video too.
Realistic avatar.
Yeah.
I guess it's- yeah,
Is that a
it's
custom
so I'm moving
avatar?
around. Oh, that's gotta be
Oh,
strange.
no. That's so
Wait,
weird
it's-
to
it's
see.
not-
That's
it's
gotta be
not
Pretty
annoying.
trippy, huh?
When you
It
think
is
of
so
being in a
trippy,
sphere,
dude.
Your movement, like your sense of movement, disappears because you no longer have anything to move around.
Literally, man.
Yeah.
You have no
I,
sense of.
depth maps is next, and that changes that or fixes that. So that's
Oh,
going to be
thank God.
probably in the next couple. I don't know. I'm figuring that in the next few months.
That would be
At
sweet,
least, At
man.
most.
This
Yeah.
is really cool. Like, keep it up,
How did I not
please.
have you as a
This is
friend, Roy?
epic.
I've added you as a friend, curious.
Oh, right on.
I
yeah.
mean, imagine using this for education, though. That would be
Yeah, like,
insane.
you see,
As a teacher,
the
you
whole
could
educating
have a
sector,
literal
yeah.
whiteboard and then just draw on the whiteboard and have it actually show up like in a VR sense rather than just visually as well.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, no kidding.
If you read the original the original book of Ready Player One, the way they did the schooling system in Ready Player One, the book, is very like cleverly written and well explained, and it's genius. It's the way to do it. Like all children get
education
given
system
the
that they built.
ability. Yeah, because it's free to all children across the planet. All children are supplied with a free unit to access the schooling. But it's got systems where, like, if you're in the school as one of the students, once you're in class, you're seated. You can't do anything. You can't interact with people and stuff. You can answer questions and stuff like that. But there's no room for like tomfoolery and being stupid or disruptive.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of limitations on, like, the teachers don't have to deal with 30 screaming kids and things. You know, there's a lot of like positives both sides for the system. And obviously, if you've got access to that kind of technology whilst teaching children that have grown up on that technology, it's not only are they going to suck it up a lot faster, but it's so much easier to organize.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Imagine how, I mean, just the fact that in Ready Player One, how they describe how it's free access to
I'm
every
smacking my eyes
single
out.
child. I mean, that alone would like solve a lot of issues with poverty and people not being able to get their kids to a place of education
Well, this is
in
it,
cases
like,
of like third
all you
world
do is
countries.
you
Yeah.
mail them a satellite connection with a VR thing that doesn't have to be super powerful to run a simple classroom.
Yeah.
You know, and you could probably get 500 Oculus Quests and some basic kit to run it from with a simple like mobile phone connection, pre-built apps that are specifically made to run those very sort of optimized and well-created, like curated things for schooling, like with the syllabus and stuff. And just ship that out to villages and things that can't get to schools, and ship it out to poorer districts of certain cities and things like that. So at least some people that, because there's some people that have younger kids that are like, well, older kids that are like 13, where the kid can't go to school because the kid has to help look after the brothers and sisters because the mum's poorly, or, you know, various different things, where having an hour or two a day to sit in VR and learn something from a school would save, you know, the future for that child, because they'd
Yeah.
actually be able to get an education at the same time as having a sort of rougher start. As a lot of the times, these people end up falling through the cracks a little bit because they can't get access to the certain things.
And they
It's very easy to
they
sit
kind of
there,
like
with-
derail and at an
Yeah,
early
yeah.
age because they can't
And
get an education, which is
But
immensely
it's not
vital.
just the education parts either. It's the social sides of it. It's the interactions with grown-ups and other children and things like that. And if you miss some of those things, or you get given them in the wrong order at the wrong times, it breaks parts of your brain, and you end up falling into meth or just not being productive. Whatever. All these little trappings that happen. It's
For
very
sure.
easy to look at the world from one way when you can sit like we can with, $3,000 worth of computer with £1,000 thing strapped to your head and $1,000 this and 100, and just sit there in your own, in your comfortable rooms and stuff and go, oh, VR is amazing. But the way it can help people that can't afford that and that could do with that assistance is ridiculous. And why there hasn't been any more, super well-off companies or philanthropists supposedly that have seen that potential and done something about it blows my mind that no one's done that yet.
For sure.
Well, I think all they know is that it's this tech that they don't understand and don't want to touch. So when somebody comes along who says, I know VR, despite the fact that they don't know anything, they get the money and then they buy all this stuff, equipment, and they leave it in the classrooms, and the teachers don't know what to do with it because they're afraid of it. And then it just kind of goes and sits. I actually know of a couple examples of that. And it's really
So Leon
unfortunate
said
to see
something
that.
the other day that was quite an apt thing as well. The point I'll take from what he said was that the previous generation don't see like this VR interaction and socializing and things as an actual socialized situation or an interaction. They don't understand that if you go, I'll see you tomorrow at 7 and you're going to meet your friend in VR, that's exactly the same as meeting them in the real world.
Yeah.
So if you don't show up or if you're whatever, then it's rude to do. It's just as socially rude to not do things here as it is in the outside world, and it's has the same power. So
For sure.
most people's only experience is either people bashing it on the internet or they tried one half an hour experience that was collated by someone that has no idea what they're doing.
Yeah.
But when you spend thousands of hours in something like this, like we all have, you see the power and you see the positives for it. And I don't know, it's kind of stupid that nobody, I'm 32, so I probably count as like a generation later than some of you, but most of the people older than me have no idea what VR is or what you could do with it or how close it resembles normal interaction. Ignore the fact there's a fucking Dalek right there. But, you know what I mean? It's one of those things that it just doesn't fit into their brain space. Their version of the world doesn't include this weird digital floatiness.
Exactly.
Right, but we don't question it one bit at this point, yeah.
No, not at all. It's totally. If I say like my missus goes, "Do you want to watch a film?" and I go, "No, I've got to create a jam. I'm going to hang out with Leon and Bobo." She's like, "Yeah, no worries, cool. Have fun with your friends," because she gets it.
Yeah.
But if I said that to like one of my clients, they'd be like, "You fucking nerd." It doesn't feel the same to them. But it's like the better end of gaming. Like my two best friends, I met playing Ark Survival Evolved. And I didn't meet them for the first 3 years I was best friends with them. But they're still my two best friends today. And then it's the same when you meet people here. You get really good friendships because you get to hang out. You actually get to you get to sit with people and do the normal get to know each other thing, whilst at the same time making a rocket that launches ducks.
It's pretty accurate. I showed my grandparents just before lockdown actually when they came over for like a barbecue, and I showed them VR. Dude, oh shit, I'm on fire now.
You did say barbecue.
Not barbecue me, but I showed them, and their minds are blown.
I'm listening.
Yeah, so like I showed them, and their minds were blown. I showed my gran. I put her on that Oculus experience, just so it's moving scenes, just so they get the experience, and so nothing's moving. So the scene's changing, but nothing's actually moving, so they don't feel disorientated or whatever. It's quite a placid experience to put them through. And when I put them in that, when it changed the scene of them being on top of the Empire State Building, my gran almost had like a flippin' like heart attack. She was like, "Whoa, hold up!" Like everyone I put through that experience for the first time is absolutely blown away how realistic VR is.
Yeah.
VR is not a video game, it's a tool to me, much like a car.
Exactly. It's a tool to get to point A to point B, whether that means actually going somewhere or getting something done or have an experience.
Yeah.
Oh no. See, I'm wearing a gas mask though, so joke's on you, cuz.
I'll just get in your mask again. I'll shrink down and get in your head.
It's a little more, I want to say, maybe Wagnerian when it comes to what we choose to display ourselves as. It could be seen as like body horror to maybe some of the older generations, but if you were to streamline all of this and stop the amount of creativity that we have, then it would be passable even for older generations. I have an index. Everybody's just able to use these controllers naturally. I have body tracking. I just strap my 2 trackers onto my grandparents' feet because they've never grown up being conditioned using a controller, so they don't understand how to naturally play with a video game or use a joystick to move. So I just have them march in place.
Knows how to do the grabbing and stuff. It's super
And touch
intuitive.
stuff. Yeah, so I can put them in something like Boneworks and it's all fine. And I just have them hooked up with my low natural locomotion and my feet trackers, and they just march in place. Second nature.
Yeah, that's how
For sure.
Imagine in
book
like
series that sort of goes on like the topic of taking away creativity from people within VR and stuff, and if you try and limit it too much, it's by an author called Tab Williams. It's called the Otherland series, and in that it's a similar thing where VR became like the future technology. It overtook everything else, and they got a lot more powerful equipment and stuff. To the point where when the government got control of it and limited the creativity, they created like a hacker space called the Treehouse, where when you leave normal internet and go to that, you have full creativity. So it's like having your own, like Neos is, you can do whatever you want. And that's sort of the risk. If it gets too mainstream, it might get slightly too regulated.
Well, you'll always have freedoms of creativity like this, but you're going to have business applications and stuff where you don't want somebody throwing fireballs. You don't want somebody looking like some sort of Cthulhian horror. You want it to more or less, in a setting, be able to replace business travel.
Yeah. You want to be able to go and go, right, I'm going to meet you in Hong Kong. There I am.
I'm currently
like a
designing
conference
a
call.
program in order to put you can design a blueprint, plug it into this program, and then you can put your prospective buyer who wants to make that house, whatever it is, through it, and that way they can have proper spatial orientation, you know, architect to buyer. Yeah. We'll see more professional uses like that, I would imagine, in 5 years. We already see it in places like Tokyo, Hong Kong, which have more of an interesting, more mainstream approach to video games. So even their older generation has been programmed in order to interact with, like, controllers.
For sure.
Medra did a weird thing. Medra and Vioxis did that voting thing in Europe somewhere, didn't they? Where they photo scanned the whole place, and then they got architecture bridges, and they got
there's like a bridge.
Hey guys, just go into Whisper Bubble, please.
world election thing done in VR, so that was pretty cool. Unfortunately, it was done in a small town in Austria that nobody knows.
Fucking light years ahead of us when it comes to how their culture is engaging.
And that's the thing with the bridge thing, is it's a small town in the middle of Austria no one's ever heard of, but they were quite willing to take on like a super current technology project. And that's like, you think America and England and places like that would be like, yeah, roll with it, I'm doing with that. And no, it's just a small little town.
Yeah, and then some comments that came through. I wonder if Neos could work with HoloLens. What is HoloLens? I actually don't even know what that is, to be honest.
What?
I legit don't.
YouTuber doesn't know about HoloLens. Nani?
I've never heard of HoloLens.
Did you just teleport?
Yeah, he is.
Yeah, he can teleport. Freaks, I'd love to get Neos on HoloLens or other AR, but the hardware isn't too accessible right now. Yeah, and the tech seems very expensive for the glasses at least.
This is incredible technology.
Oh, there's AR. I assume the AR glasses. I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah, I do VR. I don't do AR.
On my hand, and I get a little UI.
Hey guys, the Neo stream is on. Neos is streaming on Twitch. We're next to them.
Legit?
Yeah, they're doing a stream right now. A help
Oh, yeah.
stream. They're stealing our viewers.
To start getting creative.
AR support is on the roadmap as far as I know. It might be a few years though, according to Neo's website. Holo is like AR glasses from Microsoft for sure. Well, the stream is finished. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna just host his stream, so you guys will shoot basically auto over to his stream.
You gave me
Goodness.
stuff, public avatars.
I can't not see Lucas, and I'm disturbed. I'm so disturbed. Because your arms are moving. How dare you?
It's an exclamation mark for commands, right? If not, I'm gonna look like a chop now. Nope, I'm a chop. I'm a chop, dude.
Host Neosphere.
How do you... I've honestly forgotten what the command
Actually,
is.
go to their page. Go to their page.
God damn it, dude.
There's an option. You click on Neosphere.
I don't do this often.
Wait, are they not streaming? I don't see their stream up.
Mine says
Oh,
they're
never mind, their
streaming.
stream's up.
I'm watching.
So on the bottom right, it should give you an option to host. Like, I'm gonna host them right now. Host.
It's a pretty small. I've run into everybody I ran
Okay.
into.
Yeah, Mad Max jumped ships. Is over there now on their stream.
How dare.
Nah, man.
The cool
There's
people.
no option for that.
Fun, okay.
On the bottom right, next to the view count and the total views and the stream
Wait,
uptime.
I was
Nope.
explaining that?
Nothing, dude. Nothing.
Easier.
Hmm.
So much easier. Cool.
Nah.
I
physically gotta go into my chat.
Dashboard.
No, I've got to go to my
Wouldn't you
chat,
create-
and I've got
Was
to...
the main person that actually designed them or something. All I know is that everyone else who was part of the Neos team did, essentially, they had no interaction with it. They were just as surprised as everyone who received the update, I think.
Oh?
What you doing?
Oh. Marisha says they think it's a
Oh, there you go.
slash.
You have a,
Oh, you got
you have
it?
a camera.
What
pass
is
through?
a raid? I don't know what is a raid.
That's clever.
That means you go over to their channel and all your viewers transfer over to them.
Yeah. There you go.
Yeah, that's pretty
Are we
cool.
raiding? Is this happening?
What are you doing?
There you go.
Bobotron is
Neos
in Neosphere
don't
with 8 radios. Sweet.
I wouldn't even use those as much right now because there's so much
Okay,
that's
so it's
being
about to
overhauled
happen
and overdone with
after
the
the
UI
time when it goes
that
down.
I'll have to remake tutorial
What's about to
videos,
happen? What did you
and
do?
we're also doing this as a
We
side
raided the
series
Neos video
every
stream.
single
We
week on
did.
Fridays
Stream.
or on Wednesdays.
Yeah.
So then
Thanks, Evan, dude. I really
You guys
appreciate you
can
guys
know
being here, so
there's
thank you
much stuff
guys.
that's changing
Huge
about
thanks.
Neos every single day.
Really do
It's
appreciate
hard
it.
to keep up or make a tutorial video for because that video could be out of date in about 2
Oh,
weeks.
these were things.
So making these kind of streams are going to make it so
I've
that
never
it
seen this avatar
beginner users
before.
understanding what
Yeah,
changes
anyway,
were made and then
I will
making
see you
it
guys
easier for
on
them.
Sunday
I think a direct
for the next one.
asking
But otherwise, thank you so much,
questions
and we're gonna
and doing
raid.
stuff. And yeah, Froxy
Put a
working
big
on
F in
the
their
build
chat
right
for me,
now,
please.
And thank you for supporting us, Ashton, because
Yeah.
we're here to support you back. We want everything that's going on here inside of Neos to be able to support back out our community. So all the stuff of support that you guys give to us, we're just going to give right back to you. And thank you, Bobotron, for the raid.
Fingers are all broken.
For that raid,
the time
for the 9
limit for the
viewers.
raid is-
I
Oh,
guess
there we
that
go,
could be a
we're
really
raiding.
good time for
We're
us to
raiding,
kind of
boys,
like get
we're
started off, because
raiding.
now we got quite a few more viewers inside here to start
how many
watching
of
what
you-
we're going to be doing.
How many of you are raiding?
For showing off the cool things that you can do to start even setting up a for one, your avatar inside of here, saving it, objects and importing them, all this fun stuff. So we're gonna be getting into that quite soon.
With a good 5
Oh, and
subs.
Heaven, thank you so much for all of those gifted subs.
Always,
Heaven,
that
you're
was
so
crazy.
incredible. Thank you for that. Anyone who got a gifted sub inside of here, be sure to thank Aegis. Thank Heaven for a gifted sub because you got a gifted sub.
Okay, that's justly.
Thank you for that.
Headless.
Let the sub wars begin.
Okay, so let me go to my Unity folder just to make sure that that's open and we have the right folder.
That's cool. Shout out guys for being here. Really appreciate. Whoa, God. I'm in a Pokeball.
Got him.
Again,
Did you just capture him in a Pokeball?
legit, dude. What's up, man? I'm a Slavic in a Pokeball. Yeah, thanks for showing up, guys. I really appreciate you guys being here. Honestly, thank you, Spider, Leon, Curious,
Oh, my eyes.
Justly not sure anymore, Parker.
Damn it.
There we go.
That's a fun one.
Stay safe. Eat well.
Sweet. See you, Curious.
Hey, dude.
Cheers.
Talk to me on Discord
Yeah.
about the Dropbox thing.
Bye.
Yeah. Ping me on Discord. I will forget.
Did I not hear this? I keep doing it wrong.
I think you're muted as well. So if you're speaking, I can't hear you, man.
I think.
Well, I can hear you.
Yes.
Oh, really? Disappears into the ether.
Oh shit, my bad. I may or may not have muted them because they're in the corner, like, and Spider was trying to like talk about something. Anyway,
They're probably muted for you.
Oh, yeah.
yeah, I
Oh,
muted them.
Send everyone bad. Or everyone leaving.
Yeah.
Daleks are trying to capture me now, damn it. I'm gonna get off, boys. I'm going to bed.
Alright.